Hey ladies, welcome back. It's Chelsea. Firstly, just wanted to say thank you so much to all of my new subscribers. I cannot believe how much support I got from my first videos. I'm so glad that you liked them. I really enjoyed making them, and it's been really reassuring to put myself out there and share my sewing journey with you. So I am back today with another video for you guys. And today I thought I would do a pattern review. So I guess this is kind of like a sneaky September make. I told you I had already started on one thing and I did get that finished before the end of September. So I'm going to review the Love Notions Tessa Sheath dress pattern, and I made the 3/4 length sleeve version. I guess I can show it to you. Made it in the beautiful floral fabric. It's so pretty, so stretchy and comfy. So yeah, I made the, probably not gonna be able to see this very well, but I made the pencil skirt mashup. So I made the pencil skirt mashup version. So this is a ladies dress pattern. It is a PDF. I don't believe it's available any other way. You buy it directly from the Love Notions website. It's available in sizes extra small through 3X, I believe. And it has a few different options. So it has a boat neck, a scoop neck, a knee length, and a midi length. It also has a short sleeve, 3/4 and long, I believe it is, and there's also an option to do a contrasting yoke. So you can do a lot of things with this pattern. And then, like I said in my September fabric haul, I also bought the Sybil Skirt Collection from Love Notions, which gives you 6 different skirt styles that you can mash up with the Tessa Sheath dress. So I would say that this is a really great beginner pattern if you're wanting to sew a dress for yourself. I think it's a really great pattern to start with. It was really easy to do. It has no closures. I would say the most challenging part of it is that you are sewing with a knit. So if you've never sewn with knits before, that could be a little bit tricky. But other than that, there are no zippers, buttons, anything to put on. And getting the fit is quite easy because it's a stretchy fabric. I made the version of the dress with a pencil skirt, and the pattern does recommend that you cut the pattern off at the bodice line that they show you, and then attach the skirt with a seam, with a waist seam. But I don't like, I don't really care for a waist seam, and especially not with this fabric being such a bold print. I decided to just lay the fabric pieces together. So I cut the midi length of the front of the sheath dress, and then I laid the pencil skirt pattern piece on top of it, and I trimmed the waist to match up. So I put them hem to hem, the pencil skirt and the sheath dress pattern, and then I just trimmed the sheath dress pattern to align with the pencil skirt, and like up to the hips and the waist I had to kind of take in because the sheath dress isn't as fitted obviously through the hips and waist as well as through the skirt, and that worked out perfectly. And then I cut out and followed the rest of the pattern exactly according to the directions, and it went really well. So I'm pretty sure I ended up cutting the size small. It says to go by the high bust measurement. Pretty much all of the measurements fit within, or all of my measurements fit within what it said you should be. I believe the only one that didn't was the hip, but I figured that would probably be okay since it's supposed to be a fitted dress anyway. And that went really well. I will say that I'm 5'10", so I'm definitely on the tall side. I believe most patterns are drafted for someone around 5'5", 5'6". So I decided for this one, it's kind of like my wearable trial of the pattern. I just made it as is. I didn't make any adjustments to the length except for the sleeve. I didn't think that the sleeve would actually be very 3/4 length, and I hate when 3/4 length sleeves land like right in my elbow. So I did lengthen the 3/4 sleeve to kind of halfway between the 3/4 and long option. So that was the only real change that I made. And it fit quite well, like without making any adjustments to it at all. This was my first time using a twin needle for finishing my neckline, and I used it on hemming the sleeves as well as hemming the skirt. So my sewing machine actually doesn't have any instructions on using a twin needle, so I ended up getting a 2mm distance, I believe, ballpoint twin needle, and everything went really well. I just kind of watched some videos and read some blogs and spoke with some friends about some tips on how to use them, because I've heard that some people love them, some people find them really tricky. So it definitely did give me a bit of a challenge. Of course, the first thing I had to work on was the neckline, my favorite place. So I had lots of scraps. I tested and tested and tested, and I just wasn't getting my settings great. I was getting tunneling. I could get like the zigzag at the back and everything pretty good, but I was getting quite a lot of tunneling. So I'm not sure if it's just because this is stretchy. It presses and steams out really nice, but then of course as soon as you wear it and you stretch it out, I'm getting a bit of tunneling again. So that is visible on the neckline. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see that. This was the first time I did this kind of a neck. It's kind of like a binding facing. And for being my first try at a twin needle on a neckline, it went quite well. I can't remember what I had my settings at, but I know I ended up changing them whenever I did my hem. So because of the tunneling, I ended up adding some knit stay tape whenever I hem the sleeves, and that definitely helped. There's almost no tunneling on these at all with the knit stay tape, and I thought because like your sleeves get stretched a lot, it would be really visible. The like tunneling there would be really visible. So this definitely helped, but it did take a lot away from the stretch of that twin needle stitch that you really want. The knit stay tape definitely stabilized it almost more than you would want. If this was like somewhere that was going to get more stretch, or like on a part of your arm that you wouldn't want it digging in a little bit because it sits kind of like this at your forearm, it actually is perfectly fine. But that's something to think about if you're going to use a knit interfacing to stabilize a hem. So I didn't do that on the bottom hem because I was worried that it would kind of like sit funny and not, I didn't want to see any like rippling or have it be like too stiff at the bottom, so I didn't use that. And I actually spoke with my friend Tasha. Hi Tasha, if you're watching. She gave me some tips on using a twin needle, and everything I had read said you need to go easy on the tension and not set it too high, and that's how you get like the right settings with the zigzag in the back, etc. She actually said that for her machine, she had to crank up the tension on her top thread. So I went so far as to, I actually lowered my bobbin tension to try that, which everybody says, don't touch your bobbin tension. I actually like the bobbin tension a little lower. This was not the first project, especially sewing with knits, that I felt my bobbin tension was too high. So I did end up lowering it about a quarter turn, and I've just left it like that. I haven't had any issues sewing with it like that so far. However, I ended up cranking up my top thread tension to 7 or 8 with the twin needle, and that was how I finally got like a really nice setting. So I was really happy about how the hem turned out. I think it looks so professional, and I will definitely be trying that again. So I definitely think that my fabric choice was perfect for this style of dress, especially being the pencil dress. There is some negative ease, I think they call it, through the hips of the skirt, and then I made it even a little smidge tighter, but it is like a really nice fitted look. The fabric turned out perfect. This like super stretchy fabric was great for this style of dress. I think it looks really nice. I will insert some clips of me wearing it. I think it's just such a beautiful, versatile dress. I will say it does show a lot of your like bumps and lumps that you might not maybe want to be seen. So I do believe making it in this big of a print totally takes away from that. Personally, don't feel like you can really see too much. You'll probably see what I mean whenever I show some clips of me wearing it, but I think it's such a versatile dress. I think you can like dress it up to wear out at night. I have a friend's birthday coming up that I think I'm going to wear it out to. I am still nursing, so it's not something I can wear day to day right now because I don't have nursing access. But if I wasn't nursing, it is something that I would totally just throw on to run errands. But then I also think going into the fall, it'll be something because it has a dark enough base, even though it's pastel floral. I think it's something that will layer really cute with like tights and some little booties and a leather jacket. I think I'll have kind of some outfit ideas, so I think I'll go ahead and show you how I'm planning on dressing this up and dressing it down. The only alterations that I did make to it were in the back. So so kind of in like the low back is definitely where I needed alterations. So I didn't touch the side seams at all, and the fact that it has a seam down the center back actually made it really, really easy to do the alterations. So I just put on the dress inside out. I was able to pin it myself in like the bathroom mirror. I just put a few pins in where I needed it, and then took the dress off, obviously laid it out and kind of curved those into the other seams and sewed it, tried it on again. The bottom one, the first time I did it, was like a little bit too drastic, so then I re-sewed to make it a little bit more of a gradual curve down to like your bum, and it turned out really great. I should mention I sewed the entire dress with a zigzag seam. My stretch stitch was a little bit too aggressive for this, and it was I used a walking foot. Should probably mention that too. So I used a walking foot and I sewed the entire thing with a zigzag stitch, and it turned out really great. I do not have a serger overlocker machine. It's high on my list of things that I would like, but I don't have one right now. So my stretch stitch was not quite working right with this, how thin and stretchy the fabric was. The zigzag was perfect. So once I made the alterations to it using, again, the zigzag stitch, I just trimmed carefully along my new set of stitches, and I made sure to backstitch really well where my alteration stitches met up with the original seam, and I just pressed everything really nicely and it came out beautifully. I probably should have like unpicked the back seam and then re-sewed it, but at that stage I was so excited to have it done, and it was so minor, I would say, and you really can't tell too badly from the inside of the garment that I had to do that. So I'm really happy with how that turned out. I definitely will be making this dress again. Really, really happy with how the pattern turned out. I can see tons of options for different versions of this you can make. I have fabric to make another version in October, and I'm not entirely sure how to translate the adjustments I made, because I think I ended up taking the low back in about 1.25 inches total in the low back. So I might have to ask around or try to find some videos on how to incorporate the changes I made to the dress to my pattern piece. I might actually be able to like fold up the dress really carefully and kind of see how it lines up with that original pattern piece, because when I make my next version, I would obviously like to kind of tailor that pattern for myself, but at this point I'm not really sure how to do that. So the next time I make the dress, I'll try to update you on how I attempt to do that, and hopefully it works out. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you liked this video, and I'll see you again with another pattern review soon. Bye.